Throughout the years, Spyro underwent numerous design changes depending on the game developers that worked on the Spyro games. These changes ranged from minor to major tweaks to Spyro's character models to match the tone of the games he appeared in. Being a Spyro fan since the beginning, I've seen the changes in Spyro's appearances, but I still played most of the games I got my hands on. Spyro actually kickstarted my love for dragons, and they became one of my favorite fantasy creatures. So let's go over most of Spyro's character designs from the console Spyro games, other games, and media. Like all video game characters, Spyro was created through the artistic design process during the development of his first video game. In 1997, his character designer, Charles Zambellis, drew many designs to try and get the Spyro character down. He and the team at Insomniac Games decided that the dragon would be a character that appealed to 8 to 10-year-olds. He had to be cute, but at the same time, mischievous, bratty, unpredictable, and something of an upstart. And after a few design revisions and a few name changes, Spyro was born. In fall 1998, Spyro the Dragon made his debut on the PlayStation 1. With the limitations of said console, Spyro and other characters featured had low polygons complete with blocky appearances. In spite of the limited technology, Spyro expressed enough charm and emotion that helped make audiences adore him. I do find the design of his wings a bit odd, but the rest of the model was top-notch for a low-poly dragon. From 1999 to 2000, Spyro's design was tweaked after his first appearance in the previous game. He looks a bit older, but is still young, and his wings were redesigned a bit, making them look more natural. In 2002, for Spyro Into the Dragonfly, Spyro's design was upscaled for the PlayStation 2 and Nintendo GameCube. He looked more like an upscaled version of his PlayStation 1 design from Spyro 2 and 3, but with more polygons that allow smoother edges. He can even blink his eyes now with eyelids, but he doesn't have teeth, making him look like a Muppet. However, because of the unfortunate incomplete nature of Enter the Dragonfly, Spyro is a bit stretchy, even when he talks and moves. Around 2004, Spyro's design was once again changed, but still closely resembled his previous models. This character model first appeared in the Game Boy Advance game Spyro Orange: The Cortex Conspiracy, but was fully shown in non-pixelated form in Spyro: A Hero's Tale. With the technology of the Nintendo GameCube, the Xbox, and PlayStation 2, Spyro was given a lot more polygons as a result. He looks almost the same, but now he has yellow spines on his back. These were present in promotional art for the previous games, but they were never shown in the games proper until A Hero's Tale. I think I found the way they animated his eyelids a little creepy. I know they probably did it so that he doesn't have that creepy unblinking stare, but the way Spyro's eyelids are like halfway closed most of the time makes it look like he's sleepy. In 2006, the Spyro series went through a reboot. This reboot was called The Legend of Spyro. Along with a change in Spyro's story and universe, he also went through some design changes as well. Jared Polin, lead concept artist of The Legend of Spyro: A New Beginning, kept Spyro's design somewhat true to his previous models from 1998 to 2005, while also pushing Spyro to be a little more edgier. Spyro's eyes notably got bigger, his snout resembled a crocodile's, his wings were redesigned to be a little more curvy, and he even got light-colored spots on his back. I think those spots added to the cute factor to his Legend design. I'll be honest, when I first saw Spyro's Legend design, I was taken back at how different he looked, and other Spyro fans took their displeasure of it mildly or aggressively. But after I saw gameplay and played the game myself, I grew used to it, and I thought that this was possibly what Spyro was going to look like from here on out. In 2008, we were introduced to an older take on Legend Spyro, and the first official take on a grown-up Spyro in general. In The Legend of Spyro: Dawn of the Dragon, Sierra Entertainment and Etron's Libaloo decided to age up Spyro to have him grow up with the Spyro fanbase, and to maintain the free flight feature that was present in the game. While Etron's Libaloo did a good job in designing a teenage version of Spyro, in my opinion, it wasn't translated very well. If you compare the concept art to the final game model that was chosen by the game director, you can see some issues with the design that makes it look like it was made lopsided or even uncanny in anatomy. It's like Etron's Libalu crammed adult dragon anatomy into a smaller package, and it wound up looking, well, broken. Given how little time they had to polish and make improvements during the development process of Dawn of the Dragon, I'd say the uncanny nature of Spyro's teen design was a result of rushed development, and I think it could have looked a little better. Personally, I prefer Spyro's Dawn of the Dragon concept art version more than the final game model. Later in 2011, we were introduced to another version of Spyro that's exclusive to the Skylanders universe. While he was still a purple dragon, Spyro was given a more drastic appearance compared to his previous Legend designs. For Skylanders, character director Ai Weihuang redesigned Spyro with red eyes, a wider forehead, a short snout, a flexible long tail spade, and a medium-sized wingspan bigger than classic Spyro's wings, but not as big as Dawn of the Dragon Spyro's. When I first discovered Spyro's redesign on the Toy Fair 2011 article and helped spread the word, the Spyro fandom erupted in outrage. More than what Legend Spyro got. Spyro's Skylander design was by far the most controversial, and I can understand why so many fans dislike and hate it. The short snout, wide forehead, red eyes, etc. I get that. But surprisingly, in my opinion, I'm one of the few Spyro fans who actually like this design. I guess, growing up, I've seen so many versions of dragons that look different from one another that Spyro's design for Skylanders didn't really bother me that much. Dragons that come in many shapes and sizes, with long snouts, short snouts, small wings, even ones with no wings at all. My reaction was mostly confusion yet curiosity. Much like how I thought about Legend Spyro's design. Was Spyro going to look like this from here on out? And I thought this is going to take some time to get used to, from a neutral standpoint. As more games came out, I grew accustomed to Spyro's Skylanders design. But I admit, it could have been a little better. In Skylanders Imaginators, I'd say his facial design had a downgrade due to his individual NPC model having a more pronounced unibrow and all. In 2016, a different version of Skylanders Spyro was revealed when Skylanders got a Netflix television series called Skylanders Academy. In this continuity, Spyro's existing design for Skylanders was tweaked, and it resembles his model that was only used in the CGI cutscene of Skylanders. In my opinion, Spyro was a lot more expressive and cute looking in the show, more than what the Skylander games offered. This version of Skylander Spyro was charming. So much that I think Toys for Bob should use the Academy Spyro model for Skylander Spyro in future Skylander games. Whenever they decide to work on Skylanders again, that is. I mean, look how expressive Academy Spyro is. For fans of Skylander Spyro, he looks so lovable. I really hope whenever a new Skylanders game come out, Toys for Bob or any game developer working on it use this model. A strongly recommended suggestion, if they choose not to have Spyro look like his classic design. For the Spyro Reignited trilogy in 2018, Spyro was given a design upgrade based on his PlayStation 1 game models. Extra steps were taken to give Spyro more life, more character in the remake, to have him show more than what the original game couldn't do, but still have him be somewhat true to the rowdy upstart he was in the original PlayStation games. Character designer Nicholas Cole took the helm in redesigning Spyro based on references from screenshots of the old Spyro games. As a bonus, Spyro was given opposable thumbs during the process. After making adjustments to the design and getting the final approval from both Toys for Bob and Insomniac Games, Reignited Spyro was good to go. We've seen how Spyro looked in high-definition graphics back in the previous Spyro game, Dawn of the Dragon. But here in the Spyro Reignited trilogy, under a different art style, you can tell the major differences in technology shines here. In the game, Spyro has more facial expression, more life in his movements, things that help show the audience his character. Sure, he's not one by one exactly like his original PlayStation model, but I don't care. He looked great! This design was even used for Crash Team Racing Nitro Fuel nearly a year later. I'd say this was a definite version of a modern-day classic Spyro, after a decade of hiatus. I know I was mostly covering Spyro's designs from the console games, but I can't help but bring up Spyro's latest design that was featured in a mobile game. For those who don't know, Spyro made a guest star appearance in the mobile game Crash Bandicoot on the Run, as an unplayable character helping Crash Bandicoot fight against his dark counterpart, Dark Spyro. Crash on the Run Spyro was designed by Aurelia de Boer. He resembled his Reignited trilogy design back in 2018, but with a few tweaks. He doesn't have thumbs, and he has small, sharp claws. His symmetrical wing pattern is based on his PlayStation 1 model from the first game, and his mohawk was tweaked to look like a mohawk. What took most fans by surprise was that he was given a big nose, and his horns looked like a bull's. It made him look like he was a cow dragon or something. Since Spyro is just a simple color swap of Dark Spyro in this game, we can assume that he too was based on Skylanders Academy versions of Spyro and Dark Spyro. There's even details by Aurelia on how Spyro's anatomy works. In motion, he even moves similar to Academy Spyro. So there you have it. Those were my thoughts on Spyro's designs over the years in the console games, media, and some side games. I know Spyro is very likely going to have another design evolution when the next game comes out, but I'm eager to see what they have in store. Curious to see what changes they would do on Spyro's latest design from Reignited. Or they could do an entirely new design, still based on the original PlayStation games. We won't find out until the next game is announced. I'll be sure to give my thoughts about it as soon as it's revealed. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like, favorite, and subscribe. Don't forget to drop by the Magic Crafters Spyro forums to talk with other Spyro fans on the Spyro franchise. The link to the forum is also posted in the description below.